Hey Naturals, if you've been with me for a while, you may be at a point where you're ready to teach English to others. If you're an advanced English speaker or fluent at this point, then I want to encourage you to share your skills with others. If you are ready, if you want to learn about how to make money teaching English, whether that's in person or online or both, then this is for you today. I'm going to share 4 of my best tips for getting started teaching English on your own, and a couple of bonus business tips at the end. So make sure you watch all the way until the end. So we're going to think with a smart business mindset so that you can help more people to achieve their dreams of becoming fluent in English. Most people get so overwhelmed just thinking about how to start your business. I know. I've been there, but it doesn't have to be so hard. You don't have to do everything at once. Just focus and prioritize the most important first steps. And I'm going to show you what they are a little bit in this video. And then for the sake of time, I am doing a special business building challenge for those of you who are really serious about building your own business. And that you can sign up for free at gonaturalenglish.com/biz. That's B-I-Z. I'll put the link in the comments, in the description, so it's easy to click on and sign up for. And I love making business building simple, enjoyable, easy. At the end of the day, it's just about helping more people. So I would love it if you join me for that. First, I have a question for you. Maybe you can tell me in the comments if you are already teaching English online or in person, or if this is something that you have not started doing, but you're curious about, you would consider it, maybe you just need a little encouragement and a little push to get started. So I want to know more about you and your journey, so please share that with me in the comments. First, when I started my own business teaching English, Go Natural English, I was actually really scared. I didn't know how to make that transition from teaching English in a classroom for a school to teaching on my own. There is a really, really helpful step that I wish I had known when I started, which is you don't have to create the whole business first. You don't have to create your own website, your business cards, your LLC, your corporate formation. No, those can be obstacles in the beginning, and they can be overwhelming, and they cause a lot of people to simply give up before they start. So don't worry about having this big, complete, perfect business before you start. Simply start by thinking of the people around you in your social network, whether it's in person or online, who could benefit from your help learning English. Maybe they would like to become fluent in English for various reasons. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, it could be a colleague. But think of the people who you already are in touch with, you already have connections with, and how could you help them with their English? Now, I did mention friends and family. I want to encourage you to seriously keep your English teaching as a business, not just a hobby. In your mind, when you approach it as a business, you're going to give it more structure, make it more professional, and that will give you longer-term success. If you can't think of anyone in your immediate circle who you could help with English, then think a step further, a step bigger. Are there activities that you do where you might meet people, or maybe social media groups that you're part of where you could connect with people who might be working on their English? For example, I just got back from Miami. Why did I say Miami? I just got back from Miami. I went to a salsa dance congress, and I was honestly just there to improve my dancing skills. There were a lot of great lessons and amazing opportunities to practice. But of course, there were so many people there from around the world who would love to improve their English skills as well. So there may be activities like that you're already doing where you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to meet my new students, my clients there, but you never know. So keep your business hat on, and I'm sure that you can find some people you can help. And that is the key word, is who can you help? Who can you bring value to? We have to always think first about how we can help others and not just focus on making money, because the money will come when you bring value to other people. So think about who you can help first. It might be helpful to take out a piece of paper and a pencil and make a list of the activities, the communities, the groups that you're part of, offline and online, and then are there people in them that you could help? Just brainstorm at this point. Again, to sum up the first tip, it's all about helping people. Just skip the formal business creation and start thinking about who is in your network or friends of friends who you could potentially help. Now that you have a few people in mind, have a conversation with them. Understand what their goals are. Why do they want to speak English more fluently? It may be similar to your goals, or it may be completely different. But the first step when I'm working with a new student is always, I want to understand their goals. So at the same time that we're introducing ourselves to each other, I ask them, why are you learning English? What is your biggest challenge in learning English? What is your big goal for learning English? I just started working with a student from Japan named Kaori, and I discovered that she is also an English teacher to children in Japan. And so understanding that really helps me to focus her lessons on her career, on her improvements as an English teacher, English for English teaching. If I were to work with a doctor, the lessons would be completely different because his or her goals, vocabulary, and use of English are different than an English teacher's. When you understand your students' goals, they are going to feel like you have listened to them, you understand them, and that in and of itself is giving so much value. Everyone wants to be heard and seen and understood. So when you show your potential student that you're doing these things and you're not just trying to sell your services without understanding them first, that will help you be so successful. There's a quote from President Theodore Roosevelt: "No one cares about how much you know until they know how much you care about them." And I think this is so true, don't you? You may be very smart. You may know everything about the English language. Well, I don't know if anybody really knows everything about the English language, but you know what I mean. But who cares? If you don't show that you care about your students, they probably won't be as excited to work with you, even if you might be more of an expert than the next person. Once you identify people in your circle or outside of your immediate circle who you can help, and you talk to them to understand their goals, understanding and caring what they want out of your English lessons, now you can show what you can bring. What value can you bring to them? You can present an offer to study with you. What is your availability, your prices, maybe a trial lesson, and that is where you give them the opportunity to work with you. While you're talking about their goals, this is an opportunity for you to also assess their language level. What kind of mistakes are they making? What are they doing well? It's super important to give students feedback, not only on what they did wrong, what they need to fix, but also what they did well to improve their confidence. Wouldn't it feel awful? I mean, maybe you've experienced this already. I know I have in my language classes, where the teacher really only tells you what you got wrong, and then you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at English, and you don't know what you're doing right. So do this for your students, and I think they'll love it. To sum up my second tip, building your business doesn't have to be scary, doesn't have to be salesy. All you have to do is talk to people and have the intention to help them. When you talk to them and find out more about their goals, desires, challenges, where they're getting stuck, and see where you might help them get unstuck and move towards their goals, that's all it is seeing where you connect with people to help them. Let's talk about creating relevant lessons. After you find your student, you understand their goals, their challenges, you're going to work backwards from where they want to be in a few months. I don't like to plan years in advance. Let's assume that they might study with you for 3 to 6 months. So you're going to identify their short-term English goals, not their lifelong English goals, but what is reasonable for them to do in 3 to 6 months with you, and work backwards from there. So then you're creating your lessons working backwards from their goal. Look, this is where they are today. This is their goal 3 months from now. How are you bridging that gap? To sum up the third point, show people that you see them, because they won't be interested in working with you until you show that you care about them. So it might be summarizing the challenges that they've shared with you, telling them some story of how you've gone through the same experience if you have, and really showing that you're listening, so that when you make your offer to work together, they know that you understand them and you're not just, trying to sell them without really hearing them first. You can use real life videos, TV shows, anything where you have a link from YouTube. You can use that to create a lesson around it. So one of my friends from Miami, Alejandro, he told me how he learned English super fluently with the Seinfeld TV show. And this is a really advanced show. I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe you have. Tell me in the comments. Or tell me if you have another favorite TV show that maybe we English teachers could use with our students. But this show helped him to not only become fluent in English, but to understand the cultural references that are so ingrained in everyday conversation, in jokes, in humor, in just the day-to-day dialogues that really, if you understand every single word in English and you have perfect grammar, you might miss. So it's so important to use authentic content. The other thing is, you have to remember that each lesson that you teach, especially if you're working for yourself, is selling the next lesson. So it's super important to create the most engaging, interesting, consistent lessons and materials for your students. So this tip, guys, is to customize lessons for your students' needs based on those conversations you've had with them, listening for their mistakes and giving them feedback, and understanding their interests, their goals, where they want to be with their fluency in a few months. So I love using content, like I mentioned. I'm gonna show you a Seinfeld video, a really short one, and how you can, in 2 seconds, get the full transcript directly from YouTube, copy and paste that into ChatGPT, which will create an activity like, for example, this word gap fill exercise that you could do with your students. So this, when I started teaching, used to take me probably half an hour. Now you can do this in less than 3 seconds. So this really saves you time so that you can focus more on what matters, time with your students, and less on the activities that you don't directly get paid for, like the lesson and materials creation. So use AI to your advantage, and it will really help you accelerate your business. It's really like having a virtual assistant working with you, but it's just click, click, and go. And now a really important business tip. So teachers want to help people. I think that's natural. That's what we do. But you have to have strong boundaries, because there are some people who will be okay just taking your help, and they don't want to pay for lessons, or they can't. And you have to know, what is the amount of help that you're willing to give for free, and where is your boundary where no, this much help is for paying students only. So if someone tells you, I'd love to learn with you, but I can't pay you, or you're my friend, can you teach me for free? You have to be ready to make that decision and have an answer that you're comfortable with. So usually in that case, I would provide some free resources to that person that don't take more of my time, because your time is so precious. Then say, if you want to learn in this way with me, in live lessons, in group classes, however you like to teach, this is the price. Here is how to pay. I just remember early on, I had a Skype lesson. Well, that really makes me sound old, but I told you I started 13 years ago with a potential student. It was a free trial lesson. And I remember we finished the lesson and I said, well, would you like to continue? Would you like to book lessons? And he just, this was after a half an hour. He said, no, I had no intention of paying for lessons. I just wanted to meet you. And okay, great. But that's something that I should have asked at the beginning. So I recommend that you ask those questions when you're getting started and be clear on your boundaries. My second and most important business tip: I see a lot of teachers, especially freelance teachers, really making it difficult to pay you, to get started learning with you. If I go to your social media page or your Instagram profile or wherever you have a presence, I don't know how to get started with you. You have to make it clear. So if you have questions about that, about how to make it easy to pay you, about how to set your boundaries, set your prices, your packages, let me know in the comments. You can also email me, info@gonaturaleNglish.com, and I can help you there. I can send you some resources. But I'm so excited for you to get started or continue on your English teaching journey. Make some money. You deserve that, because at the end of the day, money is just an exchange for the enthusiasm, the energy, and the expertise that you bring to your English learners. So get out there and make a difference in the world, helping people become fluent in English. You are changing lives. Trust me. I know that Go Natural English has changed a lot of lives, and I want to continue that momentum, helping you to teach people English as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Mwah.